Yeah. And now it's time for the children to stand. You probably want to. And I know there are grandparents here. Please stand. And all of the other relatives who are here for this happy occasion. There. We thank you. Now will the members of Phi Kappa Phi and Golden Key please rise? Phi Kappa Phi and Golden Key are national honor societies which recognize outstanding academic achievements in all fields of study in all scholarly disciplines. Graduating members are acknowledged on the commencement program. Ladies and gentlemen, we are really proud of your achievements. Please join me in recognizing their achievements. Dr. Carla Kurtz, Dean of Student Services, will now introduce the student speaker for the class of 1995. Dean Kurtz.
It is truly my honor and privilege to introduce this year's student speaker for the class of 1995, Allie Rahoy. Allie is a 1977 graduate of Lathrop High School. She got married during her first year of college and decided to drop out for a while. However, in the meantime, she was very busy raising a family. She and her husband, Phil, are the proud parents of 3 daughters. Come on up, Allie. In the spring of 1991, Allie returned to UAF, and here she is today, graduating with honors with a BA in speech communication and a minor in political science. In addition to being active in the Fairbanks community, Allie has been an active member of the UAF Speech Communication Club. She's a member of the Golden Key National Honor Society, and the faculty in speech communication named her the most outstanding student for 1995. Although today marks a milestone in Allie's educational career, this commencement will merely mark the beginning of the next phase of her education. She and her family will be moving to Omaha this summer, where she will be attending law school at Creighton. In Allie's own words, she says, "I'm a non-traditional student, like many students here at UAF. To me, education is more substantive when you're older. It's not just about getting grades." Well, having reviewed Allie's outstanding and impressive academic credentials, I'd say she's not only received a substantive education, but also she has shown that she can make the grade. Graduates of class 1995, your student commencement speaker, Mrs. Allie Rahoy.
Thank you, Dean Kurtz. I would like to comment on Mr. Herman's wonderful usage of the phrase chronologically challenged. I think I'll keep that around for a while. And as a communication major, I'm reading a lot of nonverbal communication out there that says, "Speed it up, we want to get out of here." So I promise I'll make this short and sweet. I'd also like to acknowledge Mr. Kip Harmon, the voice of the Nanooks, that is if you have a voice left. Do you? All right. It's truly an honor to stand here before you today, both as your class speaker and as a member of the largest graduating class in UAF history, the class of 1995. As Dean Kurtz mentioned, the receipt of my baccalaureate degree has been a long-term goal, and the realization of my goal to someday attend law school has finally come to fruition. The realization of personal goals are dependent upon 2 things: possessing a dream to someday achieve that special something, and that something begins inside of you as a spark. It's known only to you and can only be realized through your determination and your hard work. The second component is mustering the drive and stamina to withstand the pressures from the life world. Again, that comes from inside of you. If you possess that drive, stamina, and ability to achieve your personal goals despite adversity, what a feeling of power over your own life. I know that all of you understand what I'm talking about. By virtue of your presence here today, you have achieved at least one goal, and perhaps this is just the first step in many for you. Although the setting and achieving of personal goals are important, it is also important to remember that we don't usually get here on our own. Today we have family, friends, and faculty behind us. On behalf of the class of 1995, I would like to take this opportunity to formally acknowledge both the faculty here at UAF for your caring about us as individuals and for your determination in attempting to impart that single kernel of knowledge as we pass through your classes. And also to thank our family and friends who stand behind us today. Your support has been invaluable. And once again, I know our hands are dead, but let's give them another hand. As we look around ourselves today, it's evident that our student body is one of immense diversity. We are representative of different backgrounds, ages, interests, talents, and ethnic groups. The student population of UAF is a grand reflection of the diversity that is life. Rest assured, if you have grown here at UAF, you will grow even stronger and blossom throughout your life. Many of us have made good friends at UAF, with whom we'll keep in touch for the rest of our lives. We've shared a great many things over the years. The tragic loss of faculty and friends, the ongoing and seemingly endless fight to save the physical structures of UAF, program assessment. We've withstood and survived the institution of the core curriculum. We've trudged uphill together, literally, while lugging 700 pounds of books at 40 below, or at least that's the story we'll tell our children, and possibly the single greatest addition to the UAF campus, the espresso stand in Wood Center. As we part each other's company today, let's promise ourselves two things: that we'll keep in touch with the good friends we've made here, and that we'll never allow anyone to dissuade us from the pursuit of our goals. That, indeed, would be power given away. It is with a full heart that I bid you, my fellow graduates, the class of 1995, a fond adieu. I wish you the very best in all your endeavors. May God grant you wind beneath your wings, that you might soar high and realize your loftiest dreams. Godspeed.
It is now my privilege to introduce the recipients of the university-wide Research, Teaching, and Public Service Awards. Endowed by the Usabelli coal mine in memory of its founder, Emil Usabelli, these distinguished awards recognize the outstanding contributions of our faculty. I will introduce all three of them, ask if you will hold your applause. The winner of the Distinguished Teaching Award for 1995 is Dr. Mark Oswood. Will you please stand? The 1995 Distinguished Research Award is being received by Dr. John Bryant. And receiving the Distinguished Public Service Award is Dr. John Ospness. Would you please join me in recognizing these distinguished faculty? Today we also give special recognition to 6 faculty upon their retirement. Will those receiving emeritus recognition today please stand? Regent Fade? Regent Fade, I am pleased to announce candidates for the conferring of emeritus rank. Each has served the University of Alaska Fairbanks for at least 10 years and has been recommended by their colleagues.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, as a representative of the President of the Board of Regents, I confer upon you the emeritus rank as listed in the official commencement program.
Will the emeritus recipients please come forward as I call your name? Dr. Patricia A. Andreessen, our Marshal. Dr. David C. Burrell, Professor of Marine Science. Dr. Michael James Gaffney, Associate Professor of Alaska Native Studies. Dr. Natalie Thomas, Professor of Extension. We are also honored to award emeritus status posthumously to Dr. Clifford T. Cox, Professor of Accounting Emeritus, and I ask his wife, Leanne, and his daughter, Katie, to come forward to receive his citation. Also receiving emeritus recognition but not able to be with us today is Dr. Keith Van Cleve, Professor of Forestry. In conferring honorary degrees upon eminent individuals, the University of Alaska Fairbanks really honors itself. Today, the presence of our 4 distinguished honorees makes this a most memorable occasion. The complete citations accompanying the degrees are printed in your commencement program. First, I am pleased to present our speaker, Mr. Ned Herman.
Ned Herman's professional career has been devoted to developing whole brain learning, a metaphoric model of the brain that incorporates all of the thinking styles, learning styles, and mental preferences in a self-contained model that describes human mentality. Since earning his bachelor's degree in physics and music from Cornell University in 1943, Ned Herman's book and many articles on the subject of whole brain learning have introduced thousands of people around the world to his concepts. By virtue of the authority vested in me, as a representative of the President of the Board of Regents, under the Constitution of the State of Alaska, I confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Science with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto.
It is my pleasure now to present Gerd Hartman.
Gerd Hartman is credited with revolutionizing the study of living marine ostracods, a group of aquatic crustacea that is widely distributed throughout the world. As a leader in German conservation efforts, Gerd Hartmann believes that scientific research is not only for knowledge, but also to help mankind to keep this planet as natural as possible. He is also internationally respected for his dedication to the students from whom he has worked, for his generosity with colleagues, and his readiness to incorporate the insights of others in his own studies. By virtue of the authority vested in me as representative of the President of the Board of Regents, under this Constitution of the State of Alaska, I confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Science with all the rights, privileges, honors pertaining thereto.
It is now my privilege to present Jack Townsend.
As a youngster in Brandywine, Maryland, Jack B. Townsend became interested in magnetic observatory work while watching his father at the Cheltenham Magnetic Observatory near Washington, D.C. In 1963, Jack came to Fairbanks as chief of the College Observatory U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey on the campus of the University of Alaska. This was the beginning of a career dedicated to maintaining high-quality geophysical research field stations and a cooperative relationship with the university, which will culminate in the development of a new college geophysical observatory, which will promote earth sciences for decades to come. By virtue of the authority vested in me as a representative of the President of the Board of Regents, under the Constitution of the State of Alaska, I confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Science with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto.
It's my privilege now to introduce Barbara Washburn.
Barbara Polk Washburn graduated from Smith College in Boston and started her career at Harvard Biological Laboratories. She later accepted a job at the New England Museum of Science, but resigned after just a year when she married her boss. This began a lifelong adventure that would take her around the world from Nepal to Alaska. On her honeymoon in 1940, Barbara Washburn became one of the first individuals to ascend Alaska's Mount Bertha and was the first person to reach the summit of Mount Hayes a year later. In 1947, she climbed Mount McKinley, the first woman to do so. For 55 years, she has worked side by side with her husband, distinguished cartographer, scientist, and mountaineer, Bradford Washburn, preparing and publishing maps and surveys of major significance. Working for the National Geographic Society, the Washburns mapped, among others, the Grand Canyon, Mount Kennedy in the Yukon Territory, and Mount Everest. Utilizing dog teams and helicopters, they surveyed and mapped Mount McKinley, producing the map that today is the one most widely used by climbers and scientists. By virtue of the authority vested in me as a representative of the President of the Board of Regents and under the Constitution of the State of Alaska, I confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Science with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto.
From time to time, an individual's service to the university and to the community warrants special recognition. Today, we honor such an individual, and now I ask Mr. Joe Fage, would you come forward? Joe Fage came to Alaska in 1942. After being discharged from the Army Air Corps, he brought his wife, Claire, who is here, to Fairbanks to settle. An accomplished musician, Joe's performance experience led him to originate the idea that resulted in the creation of the Fairbanks Concert Association and to affiliate the Fairbanks Symphony with the university. He performed as second violinist for the Fairbanks Chamber Orchestra for many years. His love of music led him to donate instruments to the Youth Symphony and to establish the Fage Music Scholarship, among other contributions. He has always been a staunch supporter of the university. For Joe Fage's significant and lasting contributions to the University of Alaska Fairbanks and to his community, the University of Alaska Fairbanks expresses its deep appreciation to Joe Fage and presents him with this Meritorious Service Award. Will you please stand now for the singing of Alaska's Flag by Christina Gagnon, a senior voice major at UAF. As we close the ceremony, a personal word as Chancellor. Earlier I said we are proud of our graduates, and to the class of 1995 I now add, we became even prouder this afternoon as you became graduates. We will find much pleasure in the future as we watch your achievements as UAF alumni. I now invite everyone to attend the commencement reception sponsored this year by a private gift from the Holland American Company. It will be held immediately following the ceremony in the lower level of the Lola Tilly Commons. I do ask the audience to be seated until the recessional of the faculty and graduates is completed. And the faculty and the graduates who are not now standing, please rise. Thank you. Marshall?